Let's test this with with the actual application. Let's copy the URL. Let's go over here, new page, and ta-da! We have an XSS, a pop. And just like this, we have an account takeover, and we can run JavaScript on anyone who clicks our link, and with it, we can just steal their credentials and use them as we want. Hello, everyone. This is Magna. I hope you're doing good. I hope you're doing well. Really sorry for the delay. It's been a minute since I last uploaded the video, but I'm back with a new bug. And as you remember from the last video, I have asked people in the community if they have anything to share, any bugs to share. One of my closest friends in the community, a guy that I hack a lot with, has shared a really interesting bug with me that I can share with you guys now. And as always, I've made a lab out of it. Here are his socials, and I will also leave them in the description if you guys want to tag him or say anything, like ask him questions about the bug or anything. And as always, we have a lab over here. As you can see, we have a login page. It's similar to the last one from the last video, but this time it's going to be a little bit different. The methodology or how we will work with this login page is going to be different. As you can notice, we have an email, password, blah, blah, blah. And there is something that is missing, which is the sign in or sign up page, which means that normal users don't have the right to actually access this page. Only admins or owners of the applications can give you credentials to it. So what would you do in this case? Leave in the comment section as last time, what would be the methodology? If you remember last time, what we've done is that we've inputted some random email and password, and then we changed the response from the backend to from false to true, and then we were logged in directly to the application. But this time this didn't work. So what our guy has done is he went to the DevTools or the sources. This is something that it looks a little bit scary for a lot of people. It looked scary for me at the beginning, but the more I have done it, the more I got used to it. And as you can see over here, we have some JavaScript. As we can see over here, we have some JavaScript. And the issue is that this JavaScript is barely readable because it's got minified, and this is the actual way it looked. It got minified, obfuscated, the variable names have been changed, and everything has been changed to the point where it's a little bit, it's not a little bit, it's difficult to actually read it and understand everything. There is no comments, no function names, and everything, which makes it hard to know what every part of the code does. But this is scary actually for most people. But there are some tricks that you can guys use, and what our guy used to find the bug, which one of them is to go to the search over here. So you can either click on escape or just coverage and then go to search. And if you don't find it over here, you can click over here and then find it, search. And in this search, what we can do is we can look for words in the whole JavaScript and CSS. And by these keywords, we don't need to understand the full meaning of the code, but we can at least have some hints of how the application works. And sometimes we will have access to functionalities or API endpoints that normally only logged in users have access to. And let's see. So the first thing that I always do is that I look for API, keyword API. As you can see over here, there's a lot of mentions of it. So this is a lab that I've made on my own. That's why you will see a lot of random stuff like this, but this is not going to be in normal applications. But if you go down, 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 you can see that there is a mention for an API over here. So this is a function that will fetch this API endpoint. And as we can see, we can also see the method, which is post. And we can see that it takes a header with the name of content type, blah, blah, blah. And then there's a body for the endpoint. Okay, this is interesting. And as we can see over here also, there is a authorization GW, or we can think it's a JWT token. And this means that most of these endpoints or most of these API endpoints need a authorization header, not a cookie, which is something that we need to keep in mind because this will be useful in the future. And we can keep going. Okay, this is the first endpoint we see. So we now know that endpoints start with slash API slash. So now we can just remove the API and have slash API slash, and we can see that we have 12 results. And these are like 12 API endpoints. So let's go through them one by them. Okay, this doesn't count. This is just from the code I've wrote. or the for other vulnerabilities that will be showcasing in the future. As you can see over here, there is slash API slash resources manage upload. Okay, interesting. Then there is download. Okay, there is resources manager list and so on. There is like, and you can see like this is a get. It takes some headers, and the header is most likely the authorization header that we don't have. And there is a put, there is a get request, and so on. So normally, what in this time, what we need to do is that we need to test these API endpoints. So let's go to burp, and then let's refresh the page. And okay, we have the slash login, blah, blah, blah. We have a lot of JS files, the ones that we've been testing. So let's check one of these and send it to the repeater. And let's send it. Okay, interesting. Now let's take one of these. Okay, get requests are the best to test the API endpoints or the API with, because these normally don't need any, most of the time they don't need a body, which makes it easier to just take it and put it in. Okay, remove this. So now let's test the API endpoint. Let's keep everything over here. It doesn't make any difference. And let's see. Okay, this message says that we are unauthorized to get access to this. Okay, let's keep trying with other endpoints. Okay, let's take another one. Okay, API dashboard stats. And let's change it over here. And again, okay, so I will save you the time and tell you that almost all these API endpoints need a authorization header, because even in the definition there's this header, and it's most likely the one that we've seen earlier. But I will spoil it for you guys, and this is the thing that we need to do. Never have assumptions of the applications. So normally what people would do, or what I would have done, is that I would thought, okay, based on the test I've made, all the API endpoints needed a authorization header, and we don't have access to that. So I will make the assumption that all the API endpoints need that. But our guy had a strong mindset, and he just kept testing all the API endpoints, and he found out that there is two API endpoints that don't need, or most likely more, but these two are the most interesting one that don't need an authorization header. So let's just test them. Oops. We add this over here, and it was a pause. Send. Okay. It says that now it doesn't say that we need an authorization, but it says something different. It says that we're missing a resource ID and a content ID, or a content parameter, which means that the body takes two things. Takes a, oops, it takes a resource ID. Let's say something, I don't know. Oh, it's really hard to write JSON like this. And it takes a content. Okay, let's test this. And then something again. And send. Okay, bad request. This is interesting. Let's see. Something is, the application is not happy with something. So let's send it again. The resource ID is correct. Content. I think what the issue is that we've forgot something. So always try to build the API call based on the definition in the JavaScript. And over here, there is this header that we have forgotten, which is the content type application JSON. So let's add it over here like this. And let's send again. And it says 200, okay, which is a good sign. Okay, really nice, really interesting. Now we know that this, we can actually send something, but we don't know what it does. So if we see over here, there is a second API endpoint, which is a slash downloads, which if you think a little bit, there is an upload and then there is a download, which means that we can upload something and maybe we can download it afterwards. So let's see. Let's copy this, and it takes a parameter over here in the path of the API call, which is also interesting. So let's take it, let's paste it over here. Let's remove this, and it's a get request. And let's send it, and it says, okay, cannot get the endpoint. So if we think a little bit more, we remember that in the upload, it took a or in the, yeah, exactly, in the upload API call, it took an ID called resource ID. So, and the resource ID for us was something, or we just named it something. So let's test with the something. Interesting. Okay, now we see that when we added the ID that we've used before, it returned the resource, or let's go back and we can see here more. Okay, we had a resource ID, which we named it something, and the content was something, but it was like misspelled with a missing E. And we can see over here, when we went to the download, it returned the resource, which is interesting. And there's something else that we can see is that the content type is not JSON, or it's text HTML, which means because it's a GET request and the content type is text slash HTML, it means that we can actually inject some JavaScript in it and some HTML in it. So let's test this. Let's go back to this. Let's name this resource ID XSS, and let's just put in a standard SVJ slash solo equals alert one, and let's send it. Okay, now we have a resource called XSS. Let's go to the downloads, put in the XSS, and as you can see over here, it reflects our resource. Let's test this with with the actual application. Let's copy the URL. Let's go over here, new page, and ta-da! We have an XSS, a pop. And this is good. This is a really good sign. So like this, we can see we have an XSS right now, and the issue is that we can't do much with it because we don't know what happens after we log in. We don't have credentials, so it's kind of difficult to escalate it to something more impactful. So our guy just sent it like this because he kept trying to escalate it but wasn't able to. And the application was happy with the finding, and they paid him a pretty good bounty for it. But now, because I'm the one who created this application, let's play a little bit around with this XSS and let's try to use it to get some more impact out of it. So, okay, now we know that we have an XSS on this page, so let's just remove it. And okay, now we have some clues. We know that there is an authorization header token, which means that if we can get our hands on this JWT token, we can do things with the application. We can, I don't know, see there's other API endpoints. We can like user activities, we can see the stats, and we can see the profiles of people, and we can put or change them, change the values of them. Let's say now we have an XSS on the application and we can access the application. And over here, I have a session over here. I've logged in. This is how the application looks. It's actually an interesting application that maybe I will be releasing more and doing more videos on it. But it just tracks your progress as a hunter. It shows you the programs, your findings, and all of that, how much time you spend on it. And we can see all of like we can see the application and all that. So let's go to our dear friend the DevTools, and over here we can see where this JWT token is saved on, because this is the thing that will give us access to the application as a attacker. And if we can get our hands on it, it's going to be bad for them, and it's basically an account takeover. So now let's see where this GWT token lives and is saved, because it's saved in our browser. And if the attacker can manage to steal it, it's going to be bad. So where we can see where things are saved is in the application tab. And over here we see like there's a lot of things. So the first thing that you always need to check is the cookies, but we know that it doesn't use cookies for authenticate, or it doesn't use cookies for authentication. So we will find nothing over here, but there is another place that we can see if there is things in, and it's the local storage and also the station or the session storage. So let's look into the storage, and over here we see three things, and one of them is the email, which is also good to know. It's logged in, which is true, and over here we have the auth token, authorization or authentication token. So this is the thing that we need to get our hands on. And now let's go to the console, because when you are testing XSS and trying to get a escalated impact out of it, XSS basically means that we can run code on the application, which means that if we can do something and if we can leak this token only using the console, it means that the attacker can do the same. So, okay, we know that the name of the token is auth token, so let's just copy it. And let's go over here and let's go to local storage and point. And let's see. Okay, now we have access to the auth token. Oops. Which is good, which means that on the dev tools on the console, we can access this token, which means that the attacker can also access it, which is also really good for us. So now we need to find a way to steal this one. And to do this, normally what people would use is most of people would use the collaborator if you have Birth Pro, and if you have Kaido, you can use the quick SSRF extension. But I think both are like you need to pay for them. So I have found a pretty good alternative, which is a website called Request Catcher. I will leave the link for it in the description. What we can do over here is that we can choose a subdomain. Let's name it Magna, blah, blah, blah. And over here, now we can copy this subdomain or this whole domain. And each time someone accesses this, it's going to catch the request and show us what was the result. So, okay, now we know we are as the victim over here and we are trying to find a way to steal this or leak this. Now we know that an attacker can access the local storage, the auto token. So a way to leak the auth token is to use fetch, and then we add in our domain that we are logging the results from. And over here we add a question mark, and we use a plus over here to steal this. Then we can just send it. Okay, what this does is that it's going to send a GET request to this URL, and then it's going to add a X or a question mark. And then after that, it's going to add the authorization token, the value of it, which means that we are adding the token value in a parameter so that we can actually access it. It might be a little bit weird for now or makes no sense, but after trying it, you will understand how it works. So now we can send it. And let's go back over here and we can see that from the attacker, we can see over here, it's the value of the token. So let's do the same thing now. Let's take this. We know that it's working and let's add it to our XSS payload over here. Okay, let's add this over here. And then let's make sure to change this to single because it's going to break out of the context. Okay, good. Now let's send it and let's try to access it. And it's good. Now we can see that our payload is being accessed on this API endpoint. Now let's copy the URL again, copy URL, and let's go to the attacker. Okay, okay, let's remove this from here. And basically, if we click on enter now, it should download the XSS payload that we have just crafted. And it's going to take the local storage, the value of the auth token, and then put it in a URL and then send the request. And from our website that tracks the URL, we need to see that the token got leaked. So let's enter. We see a blank page, but if we go over here, we see that there is a new request. So it means that if a victim clicks on that URL, we can steal their session token and then use it however we want. So just for the fun of it, we can send it a couple of times. We refresh, and then you can see over here, there is more. So we can steal more than one. And also we can just also append the email so that we can know, okay, this email uh, is the owner of this authorization cookie. So now let's just take this and let's use it somewhere. So we'll now add the authorization header, and then let's take the cookie that we've stole, or let's take the authorization header that we've stole, the token that we stole, and then the API endpoint that we want to test with. So this one, let's say. Okay, good so far. And let's send it. It says unauthorized. Ah, okay, I made a mistake. So I forgot something, and that is something that will happen a lot, which is normal, and that is that we forgot this. It needs the bear word before. And let's send it, and tada! Now we have access to the user's ID and email, and there is a lot of PII inside of this, which means that we were actually able to steal the token of the attacker or of the victim. And this is a really, really cool bug, and this is a really, really cool way to escalate it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you have learned at least one or two things from it. I know I have took a lot of time to make this one. I hadn't made any videos for at least 2 months now, and the reason was that I've been traveling a lot because I had a really bad burnout, and I had to take some time off, some family time, some time for myself. I've been concentrated more on actually hunting for bugs, which is something that I enjoy, and that's why I didn't make any videos for the last couple of months. But I'm back now. I feel better. I feel good. I feel more motivated to show you guys things I learn. And I'm actually preparing something really big. I have a bug class that I've been concentrated on a lot lately, which is CSPTs. I found it on a live hacking event with the German club, and it got me the fourth place with a really good bounty. So I'm really, really excited to show you guys everything that I've learned. And I hope you guys enjoyed this one. And assalamu alaikum.